I'm Chloe, and I'm 26 years old. I've recently completed my third year at college, which has been an incredibly transformative but challenging experience. However, to truly understand my journey, you must know a bit about my background. I was raised in a household where I always felt out of place. My parents had a clear favorite, my older sister Eliana. Eliana, who is 4 years my senior, seemed to have taken an immediate dislike to me from the moment I was born. She would often tease me, destroy my belongings, and generally make my life difficult, while our parents simply shrugged it off as normal sibling behavior, though it was anything but normal. When I was 16, I developed a big crush on a boy named Logan from my school. He was, in my eyes, the cutest boy ever. I spent hours drawing his portraits in secret, hiding them under my mattress where I believed they were safe from prying eyes. Unfortunately, Eliana discovered them and displayed them on the school bulletin board. I can still vividly recall the embarrassment I felt as I walked into school that day, greeted by laughter and stares from my peers. When Logan approached me, he kindly but awkwardly told me he didn't reciprocate my feelings. Devastated, I ran home, tears streaming down my face, only to find no comfort from my parents. As I tried to explain my humiliation, Eliana entered with a smug smile, dismissing her cruelty as a harmless joke, and my parents laughed it off, suggesting I needed to toughen up. The lack of empathy at home is why my acceptance into college felt like a liberation. It was an opportunity to escape the constant ridicule. The only beacon of support in my life was my grandmother. She was a nurturing soul who not only believed in my interior designer potential, but backed up her words by paying for my college tuition. She always told me, "Chloe, you have a special gift. Don't let anyone make you doubt that." For 2 years, she covered all my expenses, believing in my future. However, just before I was to start my final year, my grandmother became ill. During her last days, she made my parents promise to fund my final year of college. After her passing, at the reading of her will, we learned that she had left her house to my parents and her jewelry to Eliana and me. Eliana quickly claimed the most valuable pieces. Despite these setbacks, the faith my grandmother had in me has fortified my resolve. I am determined to excel in my last year of college and beyond, honoring her legacy by following my passion for art and carving a path that is truly my own. Riley decisively claimed the necklace, while asserting that Chloe, who usually showed little interest in jewelry, could have the ring. Without objection, Chloe accepted the diamond ring and securely stored it in a bank's safety deposit box. College life for Chloe quickly became enriched with new friendships. She met Ellie, a punk rocker with a knack for creating abstract art, a reserved individual who sculpted breathtaking pieces. Neither of them was concerned with Chloe's family troubles. To them, she was simply Chloe, a girl with an exceptional talent for painting. One day, Ellie, who affectionately called her Bella, suggested that Chloe apply her skills at a downtown art teacher that was seeking new interior designer. Despite her initial reservations about how her conservative parents might react, Chloe decided to go for it. Surprisingly, she was hired on the spot by Josiah, the burly, tattoo-covered owner, after he was impressed with her portfolio. This job was Chloe's first venture into earning her own money, and she cherished it, choosing not to tell her family or her sister Eliana about it. Chloe immersed herself in her college studies, determined to make her grandmother proud. Her professors lauded her artwork, and she even won several art competitions. Importantly, she was genuinely happy. As her third year of college came to a close and summer approached, Chloe felt a familiar unease at the prospect of returning home. When she arrived, she walked into a bustling household, excitedly preparing for an event. At the center of it all was Eliana, glowing and holding up a wedding dress. Their mother greeted Chloe with surprise, not expecting her so soon. Eliana, with a smug look, revealed that she was getting married and casually mentioned that the news might not have reached Chloe due to the whirlwind of preparations. Feeling sidelined, Chloe met Josiah, Eliana's fiancé, a striking man who greeted her warmly, though she wondered what tales Eliana might have told him. The following morning, as Chloe overheard the breakfast chatter, she learned Eliana had ended her previous relationship due to their parents' concerns over the man's dubious connections. Their mother expressed relief, praising Josiah as a far more suitable match with a wealthy family background. Chloe, amidst these revelations, contemplated her own path, feeling both distant from and yet inevitably tied to her family's expectations and drama. As I sat at the table, sipping my coffee, Aliana mentioned casually with a smirk, "Josiah's taking me out to dinner tonight. Not that you'd know about dates, right? Have you even found a boyfriend yet?" Their laughter echoed around me, and I clenched my coffee cup tighter, fighting back tears. Over the days, I tried to keep to myself, spending time in my room, drawing and sketching, counting down until I could leave. However, I couldn't escape the inevitable family dinners. One evening, as we all gathered, Aliana excitedly declared she would wear Grandma's Raleigh for her wedding. "It would be perfect with my dress," she beamed. My mom agreed enthusiastically. But Aliana had more to add. "You know what would make it even better? A matching piece, like, oh I don't know, a ring?" My heart sank as I knew where this was headed. As my fork paused midair, my mom's eyes sparkled with realization. "Oh, that's right, Chloe, didn't Grandma leave you a ring?" I nodded slowly, a knot forming in my stomach. Ileana clapped her hands, smiling widely. "Izzy, you'll let me borrow the ring for the wedding, won't you?" I hesitated. "Borrow? For how long?" "Oh, silly," she laughed coldly. "You'll give it to me. To keep." "But Grandma left that for me," I said weakly. "Don't be selfish, Chloe," my dad interjected sternly. "It's your sister's wedding day." I scanned the table for any ally, but only found expectant faces. My dad's voice hardened. "Either you give the ring to your sister, or we won't pay for your final year of college." Silence enveloped the room. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "You promised Grandma," I whispered, tears welling up. Ileana scoffed. "Oh please, no one cares about promises to some senile old lady." In a flash of anger, I stood, knocking my chair over. "How dare you speak of Grandma that way?" "That's enough," my dad roared. "Decide now. The ring or your education?" With trembling hands, I removed the key to my safety deposit box from around my neck and handed it to Eliana. The day after, I found Ileana alone in the kitchen. "When's your wedding?" I asked, voice steady. "The 27th. "Why? Planning to ruin it?" She smirked. "No," I replied coolly. "I'm visiting a college friend. I'll be back for the wedding." I packed my bags and left for Ellie's place in the next city. For the first time in days, I breathed freely. Ellie and I spent the week exploring galleries and cafes, savoring the moments of peace. But it shattered when I saw photos of Ileana's wedding online. She looked radiant, the Riley and my ring shining. The caption gleefully announced her marriage. I dialed my mom's number. Why wasn't I invited to the wedding? There was a pause before my dad spoke. "Chloe, your sister didn't want you there. She thought you'd ruin her perfect day. We agreed it was best not to tell you." Nausea overwhelmed me. "How could you do this to me? I'm your daughter too. Don't be dramatic," my mom interjected. Betrayed and heartbroken, I hung up. In that moment, I knew that I had lost much more than just a ring. I never really wanted to be there in the first place. After hanging up the phone, anger and hurt rippled through me. Days later, I came back home, only to find my sister Aliana had returned from her honeymoon. Entering the living room, I saw my parents examining apartment listings for her. Clearing my throat to announce my presence, they all looked up. "Remember, you promised to cover my tuition for my final year if I gave Aliana the wedding ring," I reminded them softly. My father shifted uneasily. "Actually, Chloe, we've decided to use that money for Ileana's apartment down payment instead." Shock gripped me as the ground seemed to vanish beneath my feet. "But you promised. You swore to Grandma," I protested. "Plans change," my mother said dismissively. "Ileana needs it more. You'll figure something out." Ileana laughed mockingly in the background, a sound that set my blood on fire. Without thinking, I lunged at her, grabbing a fistful of her hair. She screeched, chaos erupted, and my father pulled me away furiously. "That's enough," he bellowed. "Chloe, get out of this house right now." I retreated to my room, hastily packed a bag, and left, slamming the door behind me. As I walked away, Tears streaming down my face, I felt utterly lost. I ended up at my friend Ellie's place, crushed and adrift. For days, I stayed in her guest room, oscillating between tears and numbness. Ellie did her best to console me, but my despair was deep. A week later, I checked my email without much hope and saw a message that froze me in my tracks. Congratulations, you are the winner of the annual art school competition. Your prize includes a full scholarship for your final year of studies. I screamed in disbelief, joy overtaking me, and showed Ellie the email. Her face lit up, and she hugged me tightly. Oh my God, Bella, this is incredible. For the first time in weeks, hope flickered within me. I could finish my degree without my parents' support. I could stand on my own. When the new semester began, I immersed myself in my studies and a part-time job as an art teacher, distancing myself from my family's betrayal. Months passed and I began to heal. One day, while hanging out with Logan, a classmate who worked at a pawn shop, he shared an intriguing story about a customer who pawned a stunning diamond necklace and ring. What did she look like? I asked casually. He described a woman who matched Eliana perfectly. Could you draw the jewelry? I requested, my hands trembling. Logan looked puzzled but sketched them. The jewelry was unmistakably the one Eliana boasted about, and the ring was my grandmother's. Logan, I asked, my voice dry. Could you get the security footage from the pawn shop? Seeing my earnest plea, he nodded. I'll see what I can do. A few days later, he handed me a USB drive. Here, he said quietly, but you didn't get this from me, okay? I nodded, my heart racing as I clutched the USB, ready to uncover the truth. I had just connected the drive when I opened a video file and, to my astonishment, there was my sister Eliana, clearly visible, handing over some jewelry. But what truly shocked me was what unfolded next. As she turned to leave, a man walked into view and Eliana embraced him with a passionate kiss. This man was not her husband, Josiah. Curiosity piqued. I leaned in closer to the screen, my heart racing. As the man turned slightly, recognition hit me. It was Eliana's former boyfriend, the one our parents had forced her to break up with due to his shady past. Sitting back, my mind spun. Eliana had not only pawned jewelry, including our grandmother's cherished ring, but was also involved with her notorious ex. Part of me was tempted to immediately expose her by sharing the video with our parents, Josiah, and anyone else deceived by Eliana's facade. Yet, another part of me urged caution. The implications were too significant for a hasty decision. Months later, as I was trying to move past the family drama, I received an unexpected call from my Aunt Lisa, my mother's sister, who excitedly shared that Eliana was pregnant and that a grand announcement party was planned. Despite the good news, my heart sank. I wasn't invited to the celebration. A week later, conflicting emotions tugged at me, but I decided to show up at my parents' home. The street was bustling with parked cars, and laughter echoed from within. Taking a deep breath, I approached the door and rang the bell. My mother answered, her smile vanishing upon seeing me. I entered past her into the living room where conversations halted, and all eyes, including Eliana's shocked ones, turned towards me. What is she doing here? Eliana whispered sharply. Amidst the ensuing confusion and murmurs, my father loudly demanded I leave. My mother, always the peacemaker, tried to smooth things over by denouncing me in front of everyone, causing a split among the relatives. Some defended me, while others supported my parents. As silence eventually fell over the room, I took the opportunity to speak. Congratulations on your pregnancy, Eliana, I began. But why aren't you wearing Grandma's Riley and ring? Eliana paled at the question, her mother-in-law noting their absence too. Eliana faltered, claiming they were out for restoration. Slowly, I took out my phone. That's interesting because I have a video here showing a different story. As I connected my phone to the TV, the room tensed. The pawn shop's security footage played, showing Eliana clearly pawning the jewelry, followed by her intimate reunion with her ex. The revelation left the room in stunned silence as Eliana faced the consequences of her actions, her expression one of undeniable guilt. It wasn't Josiah in that incendiary video, passionately kissing another, but the fallout was immediate and explosive. As the clip ended, Pandemonium took over the living room. Josiah, twisted by anger and shock, demanded answers from Eliana. "Eliana, what is this? Who is that man?" he bellowed, his voice breaking. Eliana, tear-streaked and visibly shaken, struggled to speak. Josiah's mother, her tone icy and sharp, intervened, demanding clarity, while his father, grave and stern, suggested a paternity test. As the room erupted with accusations, I discreetly exited the scene. I had revealed the painful truth, and for the first time in years, I felt a burden lift from my shoulders. In the following weeks, the extent of Eliana's betrayal unfolded. I learned through whispered family updates that she had been secretly meeting an ex-boyfriend with a dubious past, misusing Josiah's funds to cover her ex's debts, even pawning her own jewelry. The paternity test results were unequivocal. The child was not Josiah's but her ex's. Devastated, Josiah filed for divorce and sued Eliana for emotional and financial damages. Her ex, upon hearing the news of the pregnancy, disappeared, leaving Eliana to face the consequences alone. My parents, who had once idolized Eliana, were forced to confront the stark reality of her deceit. They took out a significant loan to cover the damages Josiah demanded. As their once favored daughter fell from grace, they blamed me. My mother's bitter voicemail accused me of ruining Eliana's life, but I deleted it, untouched by their scorn. I refocused on my future, returned to college, and immersed myself in my studies, determined to build the life I envisioned. I severed ties with my family, changed my contact details, and broke free from our toxic cycle. 5 years since that revealing day, I graduated from college with honors, praised for my final project. Now 25, I work at the Harmony Art Gallery, curating exhibitions and promoting emerging interior designer. My personal artwork has attracted attention from collectors, and I still enjoy designing tattoos, a nod to my past. Although my relationship with my family remains strained, I've kept in touch with supportive relatives who update me on family matters, which I no longer let affect me. Eliana remains at home, unemployed and struggling, while our parents grapple with their own financial woes. In my personal life, I found happiness with boyfriend. He's understanding and supportive, sharing my passion for art. We're planning to move in together soon, taking another step towards the future I've always wanted.